speak for everyone here when I say we're very proud of these young people, are we not? Let's give them a round of applause and encouragement. This is not the beginning of confirmation. I'm just stealing a few minutes before to not only welcome you, but in my own name to thank you. My young friends, when we celebrate confirmation, much of my remarks will be directed at you, with you in mind. So for everyone else who is here, I want to thank you for whatever role you played in bringing these young women and men to this moment of grace. A special word of thanks to those who are parents, grandparents, and guardians. Without your love, your support, your encouragement, and your witness, they would not be here. On the day they were baptized, you promised to be the witness and teacher of the faith. And while none of us in this church are perfect, nonetheless, you fulfilled that vow. And so I'm grateful that you allowed us in our respective parishes and together to help you in that really divine task of forming them into the image of Jesus. And I promise to pray for you, because your work is not over, my goodness. There's much more to do as they go into young adulthood. My second word of thanks are for those who are in row 2, 4, and 6 on both sides here of church. You, my friends, are the sponsors, correct? Okay. I am deeply grateful that you have said yes to these young people and are here today. In fact, as I always say for confirmation, I say to the sponsors, you are essential. Now you may say, Bishop, essential, what an exaggeration. But I can actually demonstrate you're essential. Because the truth is, from row 7 on, if all you wonderful people stayed home tonight, we would have missed you all. But we would have had confirmation. If row 2, 4, and 6 stayed home, even though 1, 3, and 5 came, no confirmation. It is not sacramentally possible. So the church is saying your presence is indispensable. Now, the million-dollar question is why? Why? What is it the Lord's asking of you? And the truth is, asking of you not just tonight, not after the festivities, but like for months and years in the lives of these young people. Now, the answer to that question 200 years ago, 1,000 years ago, was very simple. You were indispensable because tonight you would have made the promise that your new child, God's son and goddaughter, if their parents had died, and many died young, you were promising to take them into your home and raise them as your own children. Can you imagine? Thank God that doesn't happen. You can relax in the back. You don't have to worry. So in the 21st century, so why are you here? What is it the Lord asks of you? And I would be a liar if I said to you I had an exact answer, because the answer changes. It varies. But one thing I'm going to ask you to do is, when you have some time, when you reflect, you pray, the one word I want you to keep in the forefront of your mind is the word mentor. Because we've all had them, my friends. I've had them in my life. People I look back, I respected, I trusted, I imitated, I went to when I had a problem or a challenge. And in the life of faith, there's exactly what the Lord is asking of you on behalf of your new son or daughter in the Spirit. You know, my young friends, I am not embarrassed to say that when I was confirmed 53 years ago, in prehistoric times, there was no internet at all. Nobody even thought of the idea, never mind having it so much a part of our life. So I'm not embarrassed to say I don't fully understand your life, because you're growing up in a very different world than I did. But this much I think I do understand. You have opportunities that I never had. And those opportunities are advantages and they are risks. And I'll give you one example. If you go online and ask a question, you could get 1,000 answers to one question. I ask you, who do you trust? Whose opinion do you follow? What advice do you take to heart? How do you know they're even telling you the truth? I didn't have that issue when I was your age. You do. So now behind you, sitting behind you, is someone that you can trust. Someone whose voice you can believe. Someone who is here because for no other reason, not because you're your sister, your aunt, all that's fine, but they're here because they also love you. And they want us to, but they're literally watching your back. So you have someone else you can turn to when you have a question or mess up. And we all mess up at one time or another. But you have someone who will help you to find your way forward. See, my dear friends who are sponsors, if you were to ask me, what is the greatest challenge young people face? You may have an answer different from mine. But after 38 years of priesthood and 18 years as a bishop, traveling all the states of the country except 2 to address young people, this is the answer I have to that question. Young people are growing up in a world where 1,000 ways every day, entertainment, media, advertising, marketing, all of it, they are being told that they can never be skinny enough, handsome enough, beautiful enough, smart enough, accomplished enough, attached enough, rich enough, and it goes on and on and on. And when that happens over and over again, you begin to wonder whether or not you're ever going to be enough for anybody. That could anyone love me just the way I am without having to prove it, earn it, and the truth is, the world wants them to believe, as us, that that's not the case. In this church, we know that's a lie. That God loves them just the way they are. And you are the living proof that God loves them the way they are, because you are his hands and his feet